Star Trek Strange New Worlds only came about because of Anson Mount's portrayal of Captain Christopher Pike in Star Trek Discovery Season 2. His portrayal caught on with the fans, along with the portrayal of Spock by Ethan Peck and Una by Rebecca Romaine. We got a new cast showing us some familiar faces while bringing us some new faces, a new look for the Enterprise, inside and out. We got stories that seemed familiar but were also different. Was this show original, or was it just copying already established sci-fi formulas within the Star Trek universe? Is this show unique amongst New Trek, or is it just more of the same? Today we're discussing whether Strange New Worlds was amazing or just okay on Trek Trav. So to be honest, the first season, really for me, the first couple of episodes, I was like, this is very stock standard sci-fi. There is nothing hugely special about it. I loved the Enterprise. I love the characters. I loved the design of everything. It all looked really, really amazing. But what we got was very stock standard couple of first episodes, right up until the Gorn were introduced in episode 5. And then they built that tension. But even that episode was super duper familiar. Super duper. I'm a mature man. A lot of the episodes just seemed very average. Of course, you had the usual screamers saying, oh, Star Trek's too woke, Strange New Worlds is the same, when they brought up the January 6th riots leading up to the Second American Civil War. To be fair, my views on America, it looks like they're heading that way. It doesn't seem like a big surprise or a leak to me, but apparently it is to Americans. They love America, but they constantly talk about how horrible it is. Strange New Worlds lent into sort of formula. It was very much, what beats can we hit? It did try to expand on those formulas. It did very much try and sort of put their own little spin on them, which is fine. A show with over 800, 900 hours worth of television, or 1,000 hours worth of television, is going to need to repeat some things. And putting a different spin on it is always unique. Is it as original as Discovery? Not at all. It is very much back to your basic Star Trek, except with the emotional narrative carrying throughout the season, but not the story narrative, other than obviously the Gorn episodes. What we had was very much a return to, let's pull back in those old fans. Let's make them fall in love with this show, play it safe, and then we can do what we want to do. Opposite to Discovery, of which just went, we just need to do something new, reinvent the show, make it modern and updated. Which, from what I've read, is pretty much what Brian Fuller wanted to do. Alex Kurtzman obviously came up with some ideas as well, but Brian Fuller wanted to update the Klingons, he wanted to change Discovery's style, he wanted to update it. He also wanted to keep closer to the original uniforms, so it's a sort of a mixed bag in regards to him. But Strange New Worlds very much hit the formula. You had a society with a dark secret. You had ghosts that were in the mist or in the solar storms. You had the episode where they're trapped in a storybook. You had the body swap episodes. Very standard sci-fi tropes. Very standard Star Trek tropes. And don't get me wrong, Strange New Worlds was a very good, solid first season. Probably the most solid out of pretty much all the Star Trek shows. Deep Space Nine managed to nail that first season a lot quicker than any of the others. I think season 2 will be when it comes into its own. I don't mind the continuity changes with the Gorn, because I feel like if you have a good species or character, bring them back in. It's not an issue. Obviously, a lot of the talk now is around Star Trek Picard and the TNG cast returning. Discovery I've not heard much about, but Strange New Worlds seems to be the one getting all the hype because it's a return to Trek. But what we have is familiar characters, so about half the crew pretty much has predetermined history, and the rest don't. So it's like, for example, with Hemedyne, you don't want them to introduce another canon character, because then we know what happens in the universe. It doesn't provide excitement. It's the same with with Uhura, having Uhura there, who is a highlight of season 1 of Strange New Worlds, you don't have any drama with her. You know where her journey ends or goes to. It's the same with Pike. We knew where his journey ends. He knows where his journey ends. Spock, we know where his journey goes. So when you have these original characters, you can't expand your universe. So hopefully with Hammer leaving, although it was a waste to get rid of Hammer, we'll get a new character. I reckon a twin character or something like that will appear in season 2. Introducing Captain Kirk, I don't mind this. I don't like the idea of the Pike mentor thing, but I think that is a very Kelvin timeline thing that they're feeling they're going to bring in. It's a mixed bag in the sense that we didn't get anything new. Like, I'm not saying that Star Trek should veer away from the ship and crew exploring space, but for a show called Strange New Worlds, there was not many Strange New Worlds. It was sort of like the strange worlds we've seen before in different shows. We certainly highlights of the show were the Gorn episodes, the finale where they recreate Balance of Terror with Pike. It's very much not original, but designed, and my feeling is designed to bring those older fans back, because maybe they felt that they'd finally got the confidence with Paramount enough to do this. I think Picard's doing the same thing. I think Picard Season 3 is pretty much let's get them back in with the nostalgia. People will watch if the original TNG cast is there. No doubt about it. Whether they hate it or love it, they will watch it. I feel like creating controversy is unique. And funnily enough, Discovery's the only one that doesn't really rock the boat anymore. Discovery's sort of in they're in the future, they're not affecting anything, they are actually exploring the galaxy, and there's obviously big galaxy-defying threats. Whereas Strange New Worlds is a smaller show dealing with the character interactions and the characterization, as well as going to these strange planets and meeting new alien races. My theory is that in regards to Strange New Worlds, it was about pulling in the older fans. And that first season very much feels like this. Very much feels like the fans dictated what that show was. And I get it, because the fans created the show because Anson Mount did such an amazing job in season 2 of Discovery. And Anson Mount holds that show, and his hair holds the show up, literally. It's very much the show for the fans, but funnily enough, trying to be new. Discovery is trying to be new and appeal to the fans, and Picard is literally at this point just grabbing nostalgia. And very much Patrick Stewart got contracted for 3 series, and they just said, look, season 3 has to be with the TNG cast, that's all people want now. And I get that, and I think season 2 of Picard was stronger than season 1 in terms of excitement, but story planning was still a bit up and down. Strange New Worlds did have a pretty consistent, it was either good, very good. I don't think that the only bad episodes was the Illyria one, and that was only because I felt like it was just nothing imaginative done with it. It was a very almost bottle show. They're just on the Enterprise. Star Trek has come a long way, but it does feel like we're looking back a little more. But at the same time, is that at the expense of a new audience and a fresh audience? TNG back in the day obviously had its ridicule and its mockers who couldn't see Star Trek going on without the original cast. So are we just giving fans what they want? Like, if they did that with TNG, would TNG have been as successful? The only real original series cameos we had in TNG were DeForest Kelley in the pilot and James Doohan in Relics. So the nostalgia wasn't hugely there, other than the species and the name of the ship. We had a progression, it was a progression of the overall story. Strange New Worlds seems like it's a bit of a, let's play this safe and keep the story to where it needs to be, except for with the Gorn. Because no one knows why Kirk doesn't know the Gorn. I'm suspecting brain damage. Maybe he has an Uhura moment where he gets amnesia, forgets his entire life, and then has to relearn everything. That would be an interesting thing. It certainly was with Uhura. It's amazing to me that it was received so well by the fans because it was very formulaic, which shows that a lot of the older fans don't want new exciting stories. They want old stories repackaged with a new coat of paint. And you know what? That really shows through their love of the Orville. Of course, Orville has its critics now because they did a transgender episode. Oh no! But very much, it's a Star Trek series that's finding its feet. And season 1, to be fair, I was much more into it than, say, Discovery and or Star Trek Picard. And I feel it didn't nostalgia bait as much other than the actual premise of the show. What do you think about this? Make sure to like and comment. I want to talk about why do you think Strange New Worlds had this weird sense of nostalgia and not really expanding the universe? Make sure to check out my other videos and come back because I release content 3 videos a week now. Crazy.